When working in Python, there are times where you want to print out a set of code or a statement more than once, or you just want to like print out a statement like repeatedly. So let's say you want to print out hello now. Want to say hello. Let's just say you want to say hello world like 5 times. So what will come to your mind first is to write this and just like copy and paste it 5 different times. So we have it 5 times there. So I can just go ahead and run this now and we get our hello world 5 times. Yeah, run right here. But as a programmer, you try to limit the lines of code you write, because the less lines of code you write, the less bug it is and the more readable your code will be. The less bug you have and the more readable your code will be. And so instead of doing this, we have a statement, a function called for loop that you can use instead. And all you just need to do is to say for I in range. So now for I in range 6, now all you can just do is print out hello world. So if I should run this now, we're getting 6 hello world outside there. So I have it now 1 2 3 4 5 6. So 6 hello world was printed. You might be wondering what is range. Range is a function in Python that really work well with loop. It's just that when you work with the range function, it returns a list. And when you're working with for loop in Python help you to access each element in a sequence one by one. And don't forget, when I mean by sequence, we mean string, list, tuple, dictionary, right? So this is just same thing as me saying for I in range 1 2 3 4 5 6. For I in a list 1 2 3 4 5 6. So let me make this a list by underneath a square bracket. So if I should run this now, okay, by square bracket, right? So if I should run this now, we are still getting out our 6 hello world. So this is exactly what the for loop does. It runs through this sequence and initially bring out like their first character. So if I should make this an string format now, and I have I right here, right? So for I in, okay, now I'm printing out I. So I should go ahead and run this again. Can see that, okay, first time I is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. So it helps us to access each of these elements in this sequence. So once it first sets its I to 1, it runs every block under this that is indexed under this for loop. Then the next one is set to 2, just like that you get to 3. So you can see that 6 lines of code now have been compressed into 2 lines of code. And here it is more understandable, more readable, and just make your code so much neat. So I said sequence earlier, so we've tested it with list now. We can see we can do the same thing with tuple, except with a string. So we have Python here, and you can see now you can see this spelling of Python spelled out before putting in the hello word. So this is how for loop works in Python. You can loop through a list, a tuple, any sequence, a string, dictionary. But okay, I showed you a function called range the other time, and this range now, so I'm just copy and paste this. As I said earlier, we can use this for any sequence, and for sequence mean when we talk about sequence in Python, what are the sequences like we have in Python? We have we have string, we have dictionary, we have list, set, tuple. These are the set of dictionary we have in Python. You mostly be working with string, a list, a dictionary, mostly. So I was have all these strings, so we can just like check for most of them. Now we're getting this printed out. So when you're working with range in Python, so I'll go ahead and comment this out here. So I can comment this now, and because there's nothing under the index now, it will give an error because Python always expects something after an index. So we're going to have a break right here. So just tell you that okay, it's breaking out of the loop at that point. So I should go ahead and run this now. Yep, it was quite interesting, right? So the next thing we want to do now is just like okay, monitor this range function very well. For I in range, 2, 6, 2. Why is it like this? Okay, forgot the in word. But previously when we do this, it was just for I and 6, right? That's because initially the default value set for 2 I guess 3 around there. And this first initial 2 is within the index is starting from. That means this code is going to start running for 2. You get me? Before I get to the bag. So say 3. Okay. Before we come to this, and where this is coming from right here is that this is the starting point of this list. The list of this is going to return. This is the ending point, and this is the step. And to demonstrate that, I'll just go ahead here and print I, right? So if I should run this code now, okay, I'm gonna write I, print I, right? So I should run this code again. What are we getting here? We get just 2 and 4. Why is this? Because when you're working with range, the first digit there is inclusive, but the last is exclusive. So it started from 0 and it ended on 6, but it's not including 6 ones. 0 to 5 will give us 6 values. So this is numbers of values we're having and not just the index. And it's having an increment of 2 and 4 now. So as I work with a range when you're working with a loop in Python. Okay, let's say you want to have an else statement with a loop in Python now. So an else is just going to come right here. Print. Okay, so I go ahead and run this now. I see you are getting X, right? So this is just like after this loop is going to run the else. What we are getting after the else. So it's going to run the loop first, then after the loop, we are running the X, right? So once we write a program that will print the first 50 positive integer, we can outcode this ourselves by printing every first positive integer. But the problem here is that the code is going to be very long. It's going to be like more than 50 lines of code, and it's not going to serve us well later in the future because the code. Okay, let's imagine we're just print like thousands of number, and this is just testing and not in production or something that is meant to be produced. So we'll be writing too many lines of code, and we don't want that. So we're using this to collect our integer or to print our first 15 integer numbers now. We're using this for statement, this for loop. So what we do right here is just for I in range. So I want to have a starting index of 1. I want to start from 0 this time around, and it's going to end at 51. Why 51? Of course, it's ending at 51 because the first number we input there is inclusive, but the last is exclusive, which means it's going to include 1 but exclude 51. So it's stopping at 50 here because we put 51 there, right? So now that we've looked through that, we want to print out this I, and printing out the I just going to have it like, okay, we have I, then we want to have a space, and there's a parameter here. This is just to know like, okay, what is ending this in Python. We want to have a space as a headline, and we want to have an if condition in this place. Okay, I can run this way and you will see something. Right now we are getting our 1 to 50 on a single line, right? But we want to be able to split this after every 10 digits, right? So to do that now, we have to put an if conditional statement, under this for loop. And how do you do that now? Okay, we put if conditional statements here. The next thing we have to do is just to say that, okay, we are dividing this I by 10. Use a modular divider, which means that's to return a remainder, right? So whenever we divide it by 10, and the result of this division is equals to 0, 0, 0. So this is a reason for this. Now, whenever this I is divided by 10 and it's not and it's equals to 0 and it's equals to 0, what we want to do is just, okay, I want to go ahead and start this and print this rest in a new line. You get me? So I just go here and print something. So it's just going to be like print, so it will just appear in a new line. So here now we just see that we have an if statement and this is well indexed right here. So this is 4 white space, 4 white space, 8 white space, because it's indexed 2 times. This is under this for loop and not just anyhow. So we can just print out, go back and print out. Let's print out the program has ended, right? So when we run this again now, you can see this is well structured and well splitted. You understand? So after everything now is coming down here. What we did is just like, okay, when you say 4 divided by 10, we are getting the remainder, right? This is just 4 and it's not equals to 0. 15 divided by 10, that's the remainder 5 and not equals to 0. The only division I will leave it remainder is when we are working with multiple of tens. So how do I work with that now? I'll just comment this now and let's go and work with nested for loop. So work with nested for loop, just like having another for loop inside the for loop. So what I'll just have here is for I in, and under this I now also have another for loop for j in range 5. So I can just go ahead here now and print out something in F format. In F string format now. So I'm having I, then comma J. So what happened here is that we first have this loop. So once I is 1, we turn the second line, and this second line we run for the first 5 times before coming back again for this. So we'll go ahead and run this. So now you can see at the point I is 1, so this I equals 1 run for 5 good times, changing only the j, because when I is 1, this j for loop inside ran for 5 times from 0 to 4. But once outside, kills nobody. So this is what we call nested for loop in Python, and that's all you need to know about Python for now, about for loop for now. See you next time, and you should watch my video on while loop next to understand how while loop works. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go be true. Thank you for watching.